Did we get social posts out, by the way?
Yes, I did.
We did. All right, cool. So Shadow Wolf knows.
I like how you started the podcast like double checking me.
Yeah.
not a welcome back, everybody.
No, we're gonna jump in there like that. You know,
just hey, did you do your job, Jacob?
Yeah, exactly. No, see, lately we've
actually, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't do anything on X, so Shadow Wolf does not know yet. Let me fix that right now.
Well, to be fair, X has been a whole lot of fun. Since we haven't been here in a few weeks. Some folks may or may not have noticed the 1017 the team account was in restricted status for like a week and a half, and no idea why. X will not give us an answer. So I had to get that fixed. We went semi-viral here locally. Final play of the Lobos regular season finale. We went mini viral, had like 15,000 impressions on the post, and then the account got restricted. So, and X won't tell you anything, but yeah, guys, we're back. It's been 3 weeks since we've been here. Josh is in chat. Justin's in chat. Welcome in to United Front. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening, we got the one, the only Jacob Terrell. Christina may or may not be joining us. We're not entirely sure at this moment, but we are here. Eric is here. We're trying to get Shadow Wolf. Shadow Wolf might know here in just a few moments if we're live. But guys, we finally have news. Number of things to talk about.
Do we though?
Yes, we have news. We have news.
We have a schedule.
We Desert Friars here. We have a schedule. We have news. So we took 2 weeks ago. We took the week off, just because season was done. Took a week off. We took last week off because there was nothing. We had some very minor things, nothing like club directly related. But now we have room and we have news. We're glad to be back. I just got told by my fiance it's a Christmas miracle that we're on time. So welcome on back, everybody. We're glad that you guys are with us. Hopefully you and yours are getting ready for the holiday season. You're ready for Christmas. You've moved on. Jacob, we haven't talked in a minute. We've shared some texts here and there. Are you and Allie ready for Christmas?
Yes, for the most part. We have some stocking stuffer, little things like that we got to clean up. But all in all, our Christmas shopping was done after the week after Thanksgiving. When we celebrated our anniversary when we were in Lubbock, we did 90% of our shopping then. So, we're good. The tree is up. The tree has changed locations, just solely for the purpose so I can leave it up year round without you guys knowing. But yeah, no, we're rocking and rolling. It's been a busy 3 weeks personally, even though the USL front has been semi-quiet, but I'm ready to talk about what news we do have and speculate maybe.
Yeah,
I have nothing to speculate on other than I don't know. So that's it. And full disclosure. So last year and the year before, teams are putting out these, hey, this is what we're doing with our roster, and then United, just sprinkled it here and there. And I complained all about it. I'm not going to complain about it if they do it again because, my gosh, 3 weeks with only one player announced, which we'll get to in a little bit, is excruciating.
Yeah, it is. And, first of all, speaking of new tree locations, my tree's in a new location this year.
That's because you're in a new location this year, aren't you?
No, this is the same apartment I was in last year.
Okay.
The tree was over here last year. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, guys, welcome on in. You guys are all popping in the chat. Thank you guys. 30 questions and comments throughout the show, as always. You talk about, the news trickling out, and we have 2 player announcements. Well, one club announcement, one for somewhere else, but you see the movement from other clubs. As Justin mentioned, we've seen a lot of signings around the league. You see guys like MD Myers going to Tampa. You see Marco Micheletto going to Tampa. You see,
everybody going to Tampa.
Everybody going to Tampa. Yeah, a lot of movement around the league, and not as much here. And so it brings a couple questions, and it brings up one of the topics that I knew we were going to touch on this evening. We've had no news on a new CBA. Are you surprised by the amount of, number one, by the amount of movement without a CBA in place? And number two, that we haven't heard anything at all about a CBA? And does that lend it towards some sort of concern for the start of the season?
If we hadn't got any news on the CBA and we didn't hear any movement going on right now, I would be concerned. The fact that we're having the amount of movement that we are leads me to believe that we'll be fine. The only thing I will say is that it does seem like a lot of high level players are getting signed.
Mm-hmm.
Where the CBA is going to come into play, like, yes, there are aspects of the CBA that are helping even those players, but my assumption is if MD Myers says I want this, this, and this, Tampa's saying you got it, buddy. Come wear some green and gold. It's the other players. We've got a list of pending free agents for New Mexico here that I think somebody like Sergio Rivas or Luther Archimed or like Gideon and Jalen and Thomas, who we assume aren't coming back because their options weren't picked up. But players like that, they're not going to be the ones that are calling the shots necessarily. And so I'm curious to see. We've seen a few. I would say Cristostomo that signed with where did he sign? Oh crap. Sacramento, maybe. I think it was Sacramento.
Maybe.
I would kind of have him in that tier. Yeah. Him in that tier. Arturo Rodriguez that also signed to Sacramento is kind of like in that vein, kind of. He's a bigger name. We know him from Phoenix years. And so that's kind of why I know that name as well as we do. Tommy McCabe signed with Oakland from Loudoun. So there's been a few players I would fit kind of in that category that have moved, but not a lot. And so I think those are the type of players that we're going to see kind of held up during this kind of limbo period with the CBA. At the end of the day, though, I think the CBA still gets done. I don't think that's what's keeping United from signing players. My guess is United has some stuff coming down the pike. It's just they're not putting it out quite as fast as these other guys, and so that's true. SAC is ahead of the demands on the CBA, and I think United, from what I have heard in chatting with former players and stuff, we are kind of ahead of the curve there, which is why I don't think that us being quiet has anything really to do with that. I think players are still going to come play for us. I think we're still going to get some new signings. I think we're still going to get some stuff coming. It's just taking a little longer than I think we would like. And I think when we look at last year, they were giving us returning players here and there throughout this time. And so since we got all that up front, I think that kind of explains this lull. Obviously, I would like to see an MD Myers come to New Mexico or, Cal Jennings, who is still technically available. I really, really, really wanted Arturo Ordonez, the center back from Lou City. I really wanted that. And obviously he went to, well, maybe not obviously, because it is kind of hard. There's not like a way to track this like there is major league teams in the United States. So it is kind of difficult to follow. But if you are trying to follow it and you're not sure where, we give John Morrissey a lot of shit sometimes for some stuff and his biases. He has a fantastic transfer tracker and roster tracker that has literally every team and what they've done so far. And so I do think that you should read his stuff, even if it is biased, because it is some of the best stuff covering USL out there. But especially during the offseason, he is a guy to follow. And if you just go to usltactics.com and look at the transfer checker there. He usually does a free agency list. I have not seen that yet this year. And so we'll have to see if he pops that up or not. That's a lot of work. So if he doesn't, I don't blame him. But if you're curious who's going where and who's still available, you can still look at that because it has everybody who's leaving those teams on there too. So you can see who left Tampa Bay, and then you can't really search and see if they're still available. You just have to scroll through. But it's a fantastic tool for the sickos like us to kind of keep track of that stuff. And then I was telling somebody over on Facebook, he posted something about wanting, who did he want? He wanted somebody, and I was like, oh, he's already been signed. And then so that guy messaged me, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize that. And so I told him what I did is last off season I went, and thank you for putting that in there, Seth. What I did last season was I went and made an Instagram account, and the only people I follow are the 30 to 24, whatever USL clubs, 25 this year, USL clubs. And that's that's the only teams that I follow, or the only people I follow. And then if you click, when you're on your Instagram on the regular page, you click the top where it says Instagram and it'll say following. If you click that, it puts it in chronological order, and it's just the people that you follow. So I do that once a day and scroll until I see the posts that I've already seen. And that kind of keeps me up to date with who's announced stuff that day and who hasn't. And so that's kind of how I keep track of it myself. And then I use Transfer Checker to remember everything. But
yeah,
it's tough for these lower leagues to, when you're diehards like us, to try to keep track of that. And so we all have our own ways, and that's how I do it. But yeah, I think that the CBA gets done. I think we see some stuff from United pretty soon. I would be willing to bet that we get some new player movement before Christmas. I know that's only a week away, but I do think that happens. And so fingers crossed.
Yeah, obviously, this is the hard part. The waiting, the drip of news, as Bolte said, it's always regulated. I mean, I may as well start there. A little bit of news over the past couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, we found out that Zach Prince has a new job, sporting director and general manager of Greenville Liberty and Greenville Triumph.
Yep.
Over in League One, as far as the USL side goes. So congrats to Zach. That's a good step for him. Great to see.
Yeah, I love that for him. I think it's a great fit for him. I think he will do well there. So that was really good to see.
Yep. Yeah, really great for him. Glad to see he caught on somewhere after he and Zach, after he and Troy lost their jobs. He and Troy lost their jobs in DC. No word on Troy yet. I'm sure Troy's gonna pop up somewhere again.
Troy's doing fine. I can almost guarantee you.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
Troy is just fine right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back in the USL at some point.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And other coaching news: Masaki Hime, former New Mexico United coach, is now the head coach of Lexington. Yeah, Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to Matt.
He had been the women's coach in Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
And just last week, I believe, got announced as the new men's head coach, replacing Terry Boss, who coached there for 1 year, I believe, and then left. And so yeah, huge congrats to him. The New Mexico United coaching tree is thriving yet again, and it'll be fun to play against him. Mm-hmm. But I wish him the best in all but those two games.
Andy over in chat, yay, Shakes is coming back, and he's on Alex. So yeah, Chris Shakes, probably not quite as bad as Radio Vuka, but that the teaser was pretty obvious last week.
I mean,
who it was.
If you even slightly hesitated trying to figure out who that was, shame on you, because that was the most obvious tease I've ever seen in my life. Which I appreciated, but also would have liked do you remember that 1 year set that they did sound bites?
Yes.
That was the funnest teaser ever. I put on my sleuthing hat and dug deep on all of those, trying to find the highlights that matched the clip that they used. That was a blast. This was oh, that's Shakes.
Yeah, it was very, very clear that was Chris Shakes. And to your point, the audio clues and the and the teasers over the past several years, I would love to attribute those to David Weesey Carl. I want to say that he had a big hand in how that was done. We're obviously working with the social media team, the digital content creation team, doing that. So yeah, I would love to see them go back and do something more like that. But I mean, let's dive into Chris Shakes. We knew into the season that Shakes was out of contract. We knew that Alex out of contract. We've kind of talked about who we thought might be coming back. The way this was announced, it said for 2026. So I'm in my guesstimation, Chris Shakes is on a 1+1, a 2026 with a club option for 27, which is how most USL contracts are worked, and we've talked about this in the past. So I think that's the status of his contract, but either way, I'm excited about Chris Shakes coming back. I do think this is indicative and a reward for his performance this season. Was it 5 clean sheets? Tremendous job down the stretch. Stepping in, taking over that number 1 role.
He won us that Orange County game in a lot of ways. I mean, I know we scored the death, but he made some massive saves in that match to keep us in contention there and allow Deon Harris to put us through. And so yeah, just a huge reward for him. And I think I'm relatively sure all of us were pretty sure he was going to come back. And so no surprises there.
So with him being announced and him being the first player announced outside of the initial roster move drop, do you think this is indicative of what's going to happen with Alex?
I mean, I think Alex was what it's going to come down to with Alex is Alex, right? I'm sure the club would love to have him back because having those two options is fantastic. But I think it's pretty clear that if Alex comes back, he's going to be the backup. And if he's okay with that, if he likes it here, if he's happy, then I think there's still a small chance he comes back. But if somebody respectable comes along and says, hey, we want to bring you in and have you at least compete to be our starting goalkeeper, or promises the starting goalkeeper spot to him or whatever, then maybe with where he's at in his career and in the record books, he looks at that and says, well, I want to keep playing, so I'm going to do that instead. I don't think Chris being the first one announced and coming back closes the door for Alex altogether. I don't think my thought process on Alex coming back or not had changed at all with Chris's announcement. Because I expected Chris to come back anyways, and I expect Chris to be the starter going into next season. And so it really just comes down to the whole time. It's come down to what do I think Alex wants to do? I personally think he'd rather be a starter. But I also am not sure if anybody out there is going to be like, hey, come be our starter. And so it's really kind of up in the air. Looking through most of the rosters that have been updated, teams have either kept one or two of their keepers, or in the case of Lou City, they signed Hugo Faru. And so they brought him in to be their number 1 guaranteed, basically, unless Damien Loss happens to come back on a loan. And so there's not a lot of teams with 0 goalkeepers anyways. But I don't know. We'll see. Hartford may be an option. It's interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the case of Alex, I think he enjoys the fans. I think he enjoys the atmosphere here. I do think he enjoyed being part of the Black and Yellow. It's clear.
Go ahead.
It's clear that something happened this season. At least in my opinion, I think something happened. And
yes and no. Like obviously something happened because he stopped playing. He stopped starting, right?
Mhm.
But his attitude, I never really saw it get negative. Everything that I've heard from people around the club, it was never negative. When he did get the clean sheet against Detroit, he in the presser that night, he was nothing but complimentary and grateful. There's one club though that I've been thinking about that if he was truly unhappy and something happened like you're saying and that fractured the relationship was fractured, even if he put on a face for the rest of the season, he could go here and it would be clear to me that there were problems in United.
Mhm.
Jamali Waite leaves El Paso. They still have Mora Mora, who was fine for them. But El Paso has a tendency to sign players from United.
Yeah.
They've already signed a goalkeeper from United at one point. Could he end up in El Paso?
I think it's possible. I mean, they needed number one. So, and with Jamali Waite being gone, it's entirely possible. I hate it, but you know, it is what it is. But
I would. I mean, I want him to stay, but if he doesn't stay, that would be just chef's kiss cinema there for the 3 El Paso matches. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. We have 3 El Paso matches. That would just be. I mean, I would love that so much. It would be fantastic in my opinion. And so I'm curious if that's an option or not.
Mhm. Yeah.
And for those wondering, Jamali Waite also went to Tampa because literally everybody went to Tampa.
Yeah, that they did.
Well, they've signed 2. I forgot about Ben.
Yeah.
I remembered Beigel, but I forgot about Ben.
Yeah, Ben did go there for half a season,
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
I'm trying to find out if Siaha left. He's not listed as being out on the transfer tracker over on Morrissey's site.
Yeah, more for Monterey Bay, for Hartford, Morrissey's is weird because
it still shows like, yeah,
it doesn't say signed for 26. It says signed for 24, 25. And I don't think those guys are actually, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I'm scrolling through Hartford's social media stuff now. And we'll keep talking about this. I'll see if we can find what happened with Siaha. I don't know if Hartford did a news drop like everybody else or not, but yeah, so obviously Chris Shake's coming back. We've got that news. The other bit of news, Mukwele Akale signs with Lou City. 2-year deal, moving east. I can't say I'm not disappointed by this one. This one's tough. Akale had been such a good part of our attack. He'd been dynamic and had worked really well. This season, the past 2 seasons actually here. So that one's difficult, but you have to think that, Lou City said, here's a bag of money.
I will get to that in just a second. Justin's comment, equating burning rubber to Malort, just chef's kiss there, Justin. Malort's a nasty alcohol for those of you that don't know. Yeah, Akale, I mean, he was a huge part of our late season success for sure. I think he struggled for a lot of last season. And in fact, I was saying he was struggling, and then he disappeared for 4 matches out of the starting lineup. But then when he came back, he was perfect. He was the Akale that we wanted and that we needed and that we had seen before. I text this in the group chat as soon as it happened, though. I think he's going to go there, and by the end of next season, he's going to be on the bench. And that's nothing. Like, Akale is clearly talented enough to be on Lou City, but Lou City has the talent that if you have an off week or an off month, they're gonna find a replacement. They have a replacement, and they will switch you out. And if that person gets hot, you're screwed. They bring in an attacking mid in Quincy Herman from Colorado Springs. They already have Jansen Wilson. They already have, of course, Philip Goodrum up top, Evan Davia, Sam Gleedle's up there, Ray Serrano. Like their attack, even though they're losing Cameron Lancaster, who came in, didn't really do a whole lot. Brian Ownby, who was a club legend who retired, and then Adrian Perez. That's really all they're losing from the position that Akali plays. So they're losing 2 attacking mids and a forward, and they've already brought 2 attacking mids in. So that's still a loaded club over there. And so I think he's talented enough, but is he consistent enough to get the run in Lou City that he got here? And I'm not sure. It's that being said, I still hate to see him go. Seeing him and his little girl out there after the matches was always a highlight. And then, he really did influence the games in a lot of positive ways for us down the stretch last year. But he had a nice little goodbye to United. United did announce him as leaving. So those are the 2 announcements. Shakes and him are really the only 2 announcements that we've had since the last time we recorded 3 weeks ago. And it sucks. It's awesome that Shakes is coming back. It's sad that Akali is leaving. But that's this game, man. I mean, how many players have we seen leave that we loved? We're fortunate enough to have a lot of the players that have been fan favorites stay here for as long as they have and then retire here. I mean, Weehan, special circumstances, but still medical stuff. But Weehan played here until he couldn't play anymore. Sandoval, Ryden, Schmidt, shout out Schmidt.
JPG.
Let's not. Why you got to do that? There's been a handful of them, and so we have lost the Rashid Tetes and the Mokele Akales and so on and so forth. But we have been fortunate enough to have a lot of players that loved it here and stayed here. David Estrada played 1 season here and is still here as a coach, and so yeah, I think. And to Andrew's point, yes, he will make an impact for Lou City for sure at times throughout the season. It's a long season, and he's too talented of a player not to make an impact in one way or another. I just don't know if he will be the key player. I think his role will be diminished compared to what it was with United. That's all.
Yep. I can't say I disagree with that at all. So as far as the Hartford update, I could not find anything on the socials as far as a end of season announcement. So
yeah, I figured that was
whether or not Siaha is still under contract or not, we don't know. I'm again, as with most contracts, they're 1+ an option year, so it's a very real chance that he's no longer under contract. It's also equally as great of a chance that he is under contract. So who knows? Until we get an official word, I'm saying it's Schrodinger Siaha. So, he's there and he's not there.
So what does Siaha have to do with anything? What was the point you were making?
We were talking about where landing spot for Alex.
Okay.
And I was going back as I was looking through to see what, because Desert Fryer had asked. So, yeah. So, I don't know. There's no telling about that. Comment out quick about Kip Keller. I mean, I'd love to see Kip back. I know you probably would as well. He's still a free agent.
He is a free agent. He did not get picked up by Minnesota, and so he is available.
Could United potentially back the truck up for him?
Well, so I've had some conversations since the last time we recorded with some former USL players. We know that Kip was making $100K, like 104 or 106 with Minnesota United on that contract that he was on. That's out there. We knew that. I have been told that an obscene amount of money that United would offer a center back of that quality is $50K.
Mhm.
And that's like high end. So my guess is Kip is going to try to find an MLS team that'll pick him up. Contract up with Harvard. Okay. Transfer market.
Yeah,
Asking,
again,
but
but again, yeah, that's because they don't announce option years on most contracts, and we don't
transfer
know at this
market
point.
does pretty good about having a contract option on there, even if it wasn't announced by the club. Harris was on there this year or last season for us, and it turned out to be true. And so it's basically 50. It's Schrodinger Siaha again still. But
it's just because the contract details of USL players are never public, unlike MLS, where we know specifically, how the terms of their deals. So, and USL just doesn't put that out.
Not all the time. Like we got Akale. We know Akale signed a 2-year deal with Lou City. Most of the option years aren't announced, but some of them are. And transfer market has shown on former United players and around the league that there is an option year for so-and-so. And sometimes I take it with a grain of salt every time, but sometimes more often than not, I've seen them be right with that. But back to the Keller thing, he would, my guess is he is going to try to get $104,000 contract with an MLS team to be on the back end of their roster. And if that falls through, then maybe we could persuade him to come to United. Or in a perfect world, because what my guess was, or what somebody else's guess was that in that transfer or in that loan, we probably paid $20,000 to $30,000 of his salary, and Minnesota picked up the rest still. And so we'll have to see. It's not a zero chance. I think an MLS team should pick him up. In a perfect world, maybe they pick him up and then we can loan him down here for $20,000, $30,000 again, and get a quality player where he's getting paid what he wants to get paid, and we're saving money by not having to pay him his full contract. And so who knows? I know he liked it here. And so hopefully that means he's willing to come back if the circumstances are right. And so,
yeah, we can hope. I know he would certainly be welcome back in that back line. I mean, Keller and Maples was a really good duo. Keller and Ryden was really good as well. I think he'd be a solid piece if we can add him back for the 2026 season and beyond. So, but again, all just a waiting game.
So we've kind of talked about Tampa's moves and stuff like that. Is there? I think Tampa's probably made the most moves by far. Is there a move that Tampa made or any other team made that really stuck out to you so far, or that you were like, dang it, I wanted that guy, or anything like that?
No one on that front as far as like, oh dang it, I wanted that guy. There was a signing, however, by South Georgia Tormenta that I think flew really under the radar. They just picked up who was it? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He back-to-back goalkeeper of the year in League One.
South Georgia Tormenta, there it is.
Yeah. Sean Lewis,
yeah.
Yeah, back-to-back goalkeeper of the year. So I think this is really under the radar here. And I know it's not USL Championship, but I think there's something here, and I think USL Championship clubs missed out on this guy.
Yeah.
So that's one that I feel like Lewis probably should have gotten a call from somebody. But I remember seeing him last year in League One, and he did phenomenally well. So I would have loved to have seen him get picked up somewhere, and I do think clubs are going to regret missing out on that. But
the goalkeeper carousel has kind of been interesting because we've seen a handful of goalkeepers sign already. I mean, obviously we have Shakes coming back to us, but Miami, who only has two other players now currently on their roster, signed a goalkeeper, an older goalkeeper, Eloy Room. Then, of course, we said Jamali Waite went to Tampa Bay. Eric Dick went to Indy. Will Meyer went. Oh no, sorry, that was already Rhode Island signing. It gets confusing here, with the way he did this. But so we've seen some names move already. Hugo Faru was the other big one with Lou City. Jared Mazzola, who was the backup keeper in Sacramento, who kind of led them on a couple, like their USL Jägermeister Cup run. He was kind of the mainstay for that. He goes to Vegas, and so there's been some goalkeeper movement already, and it's kind of confusing. As not confusing, it's just when those names are out there. Colin Shuttler, who was with Orange County last year, goes to Colorado Springs. So we've seen a ton of movement when it comes to that, and I wonder if those teams that really wanted or needed a new keeper, since all those names were available, I mean, I think Sean Lewis could have been a great addition. But if I can sign Eric Dick, I'm probably going to sign Eric Dick. Same with Jamali Waite, who I've always thought was a very high quality goalkeeper. Hugo Faru, also a high quality goalkeeper. And I think goalkeeper is a position that you really want a proven USL guy if you're one of these teams that wants to try to make a run. And so I just think that, yes, it could be a swing and a miss for somebody, but also shout out to Tormenta, who is just like, hey, this guy could be a hot commodity. We're hearing rumblings of these goalkeepers going here and there. Let's go get this guy right now while we still can.
Yeah.
And then they go and they pull the trigger and they get it done. And so smart move there. The League One shout out from Seth all of a sudden. Good job there.
Well, I keep a close eye on Tormenta because Statesboro.
Right.
That's where I went to school. So, keep an eye on them. So there were two, and
you went to school? I'm just kidding.
I did go to school. Even as a robot, I had to learn somewhere, right?
Oh yeah.
So
it's not really school; it's just programming. But okay.
Yeah, exactly. So there were two, I will say, that kind of jumped off when I saw them. I'm not really surprised by one of them, and we talked about it at the end of the season. Andy Cabrera.
Yeah.
We all had a feeling he wasn't going to stick around because Dad wasn't there. Andy Cabrera over with Battery now. I think it's a big pickup for Battery. So that's a move I think is really interesting and could have an effect on the Eastern Conference. And then the other one is coming the other way. Manuel Arteaga left Tampa and is coming over to Las Vegas. So I saw those two stood out because those are two. I would put both of them in the top 15% of forwards. And that may even be a little undershooting on those two. But I do think that those are really great pickups by those two clubs.
The Wilmer Cabrera Jr. one, Andy Cabrera, a.k.a. I like that signing for Charleston. But if you're telling me you're going from MD Myers to Andy Cabrera Jr. or Wilmer Cabrera Jr. or Cal Jennings to Wilmer Cabrera or Rubio Rubin to those are downgrades. All three of those to me are downgrades. And so it really, really depends on what else Charleston does in that attack.
Right.
Because they were stacked there, right? I mean, MD Myers and Cal Jennings were two of the best. And then, I mean, to bring in a guy like Rubio Rubin off the bench who scored against us when they played us here was just fantastic. Is a player that I personally, yes, I would love to have Cal Jennings, but I think Rubio, for the money that I think it would take to get Cal Jennings, I'd rather bring in Rubio and a defender or Rubio and a center mid. something like that, because I think that's a huge difference in money between those two. And so, but I think Rubio is almost just as good as Cal, and is possibly trending up, where I think Cal could be plateauing right now. But Charleston's losing a lot, so Wilmer is a great addition to what they have, but they're losing a ton of attacking talent. So it kind of depends on what they do around him. And Arteaga, I think I love Arteaga. I respect the shit out of him. He is not a spring chicken. He's been around for a long time, and he's not a forward that I personally would want on United, because he's like a target forward, and that's just not how we play, right? But it's a good name for Las Vegas to get. Like I'm happy that Las Vegas is doing something, right? They're losing a lot of guys, but they're starting to bring people in. They bring in Aaron Guillen as well, who comes over from Tampa Bay also. They have is it them or Oakland? Where did Ryan Martin go?
That's a good question.
I think he went to Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
Pretty sure it's Oakland, but for some reason I was thinking it could be
Oakland. Yeah.
Is it Oakland? Okay, good. More reason for me to hate Oakland. So I wanted to make sure he didn't go to Vegas, because I thought he was. I couldn't remember which one it was, but so yeah, there's teams making some moves. I already said mine. I think Lexington getting Arturo Ordonez is the one that I'm really upset about, that I would really like. There's still a ton of quality names out there, especially at center back. It's definitely by no means am I freaking out just yet with only Talon as our true only center back on the roster right now. There's still a ton of talent out there. I just thought Arturo could have been. You bring Arturo in right now, and it's a guy that I think could play as good or better than Ryden when he was here, and could be that stalwart for a few years until he retires. I thought it could be just a seamless replacement for him there. And so I was bummed about that, but hey, we'll see.
Yep. To the point about Andy Kerr having 10 goals, we didn't have a single we didn't have a single double-digit goal scorer. So I would be happy with a guy that can put up double-digit goals. Like,
but Desert brings up a good. There were 6 in 2 games, so he had 4.
I agree. Yeah,
4 in 28 games. He had 4 goals. I know he dealt with some injuries and stuff like that after that, but I'm just not. Yeah.
I mean, look, you've got a forward who puts up double-digit goals. We did not have a single player with double-digit goals. Maples was our second leading goal scorer on the year, was 7.
Yeah,
right?
PKs.
Because the PKs, right? So you drop from Hurst to Akale, you go from 8 to 5. So I mean, if you can pick up a guy, I don't care if it's 6 goals in 2 games, right? Because if you win those 2 games, if you pick any 2 games that we go from having 0 points in them to now suddenly pick up another 6 points, I'll take that, right? So I can't argue with 10 goals. You can't. So, but I get it.
Will, damn it.
But I get it. Alrighty. So, outside of that, I mean, not a whole lot in terms of moves for United. We did have a little bit of news come out of the league regarding some more roster guys. Alex Tabakis is up for a goal save of the year. So that is in the finals of voting. So go vote for that. And then we got word today, Dayon Harris has been named the 2025 USL Championship Comeback Player of the Year. So congratulations to Dayon Harris. Well deserved.
Zico is also up for Goal of the Year.
Yes.
In the finals. So go vote for that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice getting some accolades for the guys' effort last year. And Dayon deserved it for sure. I thought that it was going to go to, oh crap, I'm forgetting now. There was a player there from another big team that I was like, oh, he's for sure going to get the votes, because it was a fan vote for a lot of it. And so I thought maybe it was going to go away from United. We haven't done great in the fan votes lately.
No,
Not
not
sure
this
if
year.
you've picked up, even like the last several years, it hasn't really been fantastic for us. I remember year one, we were cleaning up when if we got nominated for goal of the week, it was ours. Period. Point
Yep.
blank. That was what it was going to be. And now it quite hasn't quite been that good for us. Rodrigo
Zico currently-
Lopez
Oh yeah,
that's who I thought for sure was going to end up with it. But luckily, Sacramento fans are fickle and annoying, and they didn't vote. So Dayon gets that, and so well deserved after that knee injury last year. The way he came back and played.
Yeah. Currently, Zico Bailey leading championship goal of the year with 44% of the votes, and Alex with 53% of the votes for save of the year.
Nice,
So,
nice. Keep it up,
yeah,
guys.
keep it up, goes. Yeah, we want to bring home more accolades there as well. All right, so which schedule you want to jump into first?
Well, let's touch on the Jägermeister. Well, we'll just go over the overall one, and we'll talk about our Jägermeister one as we go through it.
Alrighty, so we had a lot of schedule news this week. Not only did
today,
yeah. 2026 schedule release dropped today. We got a tease the other day with home openers for every club. We also got the USL Cup groups and schedules. And guys, this is a packed freaking schedule. Especially if you look at the month of May. Our May fucking sucks.
6 games.
Six games in May. Yeah. And then this leads to the conversation too. You got unbalanced schedules this year because you only have 12 teams in the West and 13 in the East. So yeah, this is like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this. You look at the schedule and, we've got, I think maybe USL Championship listened to us. With us being so vocal about not wanting to play El Paso 18 times a season. 2 regular season matchups against El Paso this year.
Obviously.
Obviously. We do play 2 Western Conference teams 3 times in regular season play this year. We also have a split schedule with the East. But yeah, looking down this schedule, man, it is absolutely packed. We start the season a week later than everybody else. We don't get a home match until the 3rd week of the season. Well, really the 4th week of the season, I guess. 4th week of the season. And so yeah, we got a Friday match in there. We got Sunday football. You got Wednesday matches. This schedule is all over the place, and I know World Cup year, international breaks, World Cup duty. It's going to be a busy fucking summer for soccer fans. This is going to be busy. But I mean, you look at it, we start our season on March 14th. That's 3 months from now.
Yeah.
We are 3 months away from opening week for us. Oakland and San Antonio to start the season. First home match of the year, Colorado Switchbacks on March 28th. And I mean, it's just, yeah, May is just packed full of matches. Obviously, we don't have times on this. We got our first USL Cup match on April 25th against AV Alta, which is one we're hosting. But yeah, this schedule is just crazy. I mean, I looked at this and now I went ahead and on my calendar. My fiance is now aware of the schedule. Most of our Saturday home games line up to when I don't have my kids, which is phenomenal for me. Even the Wednesday home matches kind of works out. But I mean, this is a lot. And then you finish the season with 2 matches on the road, San Antonio and El Paso. Like and obviously let's start with the home schedule reveal, right? Or the home opener. What was your first thought when you saw that our home opener wasn't until the 4th week of the league season?
I mean, it is what it is. I didn't really think one way or another. I think the thought process there might be that the last couple years when we've started in the first week of March, we've played a day game because it's been a little cold. And I wonder if they thought if they moved it back a little bit, we could just start at night and have a good atmosphere for an evening match instead of having to move it up to 2 or 3 o'clock. But we don't have the times, so we'll have to see if that is actually the case or not. But no, I didn't. And I, to be honest, I didn't snap that it was the 4th.
Because you've got season openers on March 7th.
Yeah, that is true. And so I didn't. I mean, I kind of paid attention to that, but my brain wasn't braining necessarily, because we do usually start that first weekend of March, and so, but no, it is what it is. I'm okay with it.
I think it's worth noting too that MILB, minor league baseball, Albuquerque Isotopes don't even start their season until March 27th. So you've got 3 open weekends.
Yeah.
So again, and Harry brought this up in our group chat. Why is United starting behind everybody else? Why do we have why do we have 3 midweeks when you've got that open week to start the season? I'm very curious. Now, obviously, I wouldn't want to. I don't think us playing here on March 7th is a great idea. Just weather-wise, unless you play, like you said, like maybe a 1 o'clock kick or a day game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why can't we start the same week as everybody else? Why are we starting a week after and then get stuck with 3 midweeks? I don't know.
I mean, we had 3 midweeks last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that really changes anything. It's just, I think you're thinking way too much about it, if I'm being honest. It's honestly, I look at the schedule and I find it kind of interesting. May does suck. I'll give you that. May is weird. I'm not sure the reasoning for that. 3 games in March, 3 games in April, 6 games in May, 3 in June, 4 in July, 5 in August, 6 in August too. 5 in September, and then 4 in October. When I look at this, though, I look at it and I'm kind of intrigued by 2 things. One, I love the fact that we're finishing the season against a rival. I've always wanted that. I wish I was at home, but it's not. But that's okay. I think if that match means anything to us, playoff standings, fighting for the 1 seed, whatever the case may be, fighting to get in the playoffs, where the black and yellow faithful will show up at that match in full force, and I think that will be a lot of fun.
Let me throw in here quick. You said 6 games in August. There could potentially be a 7th game in August too. Maybe even an 8th, depending on the Open Cup.
Possibly. We'll have to see. But I mean, that's a deep run in Open Cup is what that would mean. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we make that. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those August games gets rescheduled for a different day.
No, it's max we could do in August 7, and that's if we make the quarterfinals of USL Cup.
Yeah, because I think the Open Cup, I think the finals aren't until September.
Semifinals are September, then the finals in October. There's a big gap,
huge gap because of the World Cup. I bet. Yeah. So we'll have to see there, but I did like that. I mean, we only have the 1 home game in the month of July, and it's July 4th. I don't know if you caught that, but we play 4th of July, which is going to be fun. And so I think that playing on the 4th of July, I think, is huge. I love that. And then we've always had like this big swoon in the middle of the month or in the middle of the summer where we don't have a lot of home games. And that has, I mean, we still have those 3 consecutive weeks in July that we're out, but June is has some home games. So we're not missing out on all of June. And then August is pretty even. And so we don't have like a massive gap between home games like we have in the past, other than those 3 weeks in July. So we basically go a month without playing a home match, July 4th to August 1st. But I look at it and I feel like it's more balanced. I don't like not finishing the year at home. I wish we would finish the year at home. But other than that, I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm curious. Like the only thing I don't like, I do like the teams we're hosting that are non-normal, like AV Alta coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be fantastic. We made pretty good friends. AV Alta actually came to the Tap House microbrewery thingy in Los Angeles when we played in the Open Cup before they had even fielded a team. They had fans show up with us to support us. And so I really like that they're going to be coming here. We get Tampa Bay and Charleston here, which would be fun. Indy's going to come here. So there's some teams traveling here that I think are going to be fun. The imbalanced schedule and all that stuff, we already knew that. I didn't go into looking at the schedule like freaking out about, oh, well, what are we going to do? And who do we play a lot? And this, that, and the other. In fact, I couldn't tell you right now the teams that we played 3 times. I don't know if
San Antonio and Colorado.
Kind of figured it would be, at least it's not El Paso, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the league actually listened to us. It's like because we put it out there. The league is listening. Nick Murray, we know you're in the chat. Thanks.
Well, to be fair, we still play them 3 times, so let's not give the league too much credit. They still put us in a USL Cup or the Malort Cup. They still put us in the Malort Cup with them.
Right. Even with these new teams like Boise coming in, you got AV Alta from last year. Why? Give it some variety. And I guarantee you we're going to be same geographic region for Open Cup as well. So, so I would have rather, and I said this in our group chat, I would much rather see 2 more Eastern Conference teams than play someone in the West 3 times.
Yeah.
So but I get it. And can't do anything about the unbalanced schedule. Can't do anything about where the clubs are, other than the fact that Lexington is not farther west than other teams. So it is what it is. Right now, obviously, we're gonna have Harry on throughout the season, talking to him ahead of these 3 San Antonio matches.
Hey, I tell you what though, 3 matches against San Antonio, 3 matches against Colorado Springs. That's 6 wins right there, baby.
There you go. That it is. 6 wins, great way to start and end the season there. But yeah, you look at the schedule and then you throw in Open Cup, and I know Bolte made, said we'd have to win 5 matches to get to the semis, but you throw in, first round in March, second round in March, round of 32 in April, round of 16 in April, quarterfinals in May. So again, you throw all of those matches in there as well. Like it's just, you look at the schedule. So first round is March 17th through 18th. So we're most likely going to play on the 18th. Be my guess. Somewhere there, 17, 18. So there's a midweek right there. So throw another midweek in there for Open Cup. You win that one, you go into April, and you've got, end of March, beginning of April. And then, you're going to have another midweek there. So, I mean, we could potentially have a shit ton of midweeks because of this. And then, USL Cup. Here, let's talk about it. Group 2. New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive, AV Alta FC, Phoenix Rising, Colorado Switchbacks, and Orange County. We get to play AV Alta, Colorado Springs, Phoenix Rising, and El Paso. Surprise, surprise.
You joke. I am kind of surprised that we have 2 California teams. We went the other way last year.
Let us play both of them.
That I will argue. Yes, I don't.
Let us play both of them instead of El Paso.
Yeah, play El Paso. I'd rather play both of them than we already play Colorado Springs 3 times. Why are we not playing Orange County there?
Yeah.
Because as Desert Fire said, we do have 4 games against Colorado, but one of those is an Open or a USL Cup match, which doesn't count towards the regular season standings. That's why I was saying 3 games against Colorado
Yeah.
3 games against San Antonio was talking about just the strictly regular season there. Rank. So Justin put in the chat a hot take that he has. Rank the 3 trophies that are available to win in order you would like to win them.
Championship, Open Cup, USL Cup. I mean, look, a Champions League spot would be phenomenal, but it's...
Sorry, there's a 4th in there.
What am I missing?
Supporter Shield.
Oh. It'd be nice, but...
That hurts.
It'd be nice, but it doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't, other than you're the highest point getter in the league. That's all it is.
So...
I would rather win the league for a cup that matters than have supporters.
A star, yeah. You don't get a star. I get that.
Right.
I would. Let's see.
Yeah, Open Cup would be phenomenal to win, but I don't until they change the format significantly. I don't think there's a chance you see another USL team win.
I think a USL team wins it the first year we have D1 status.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
I go back and forth. I get the USL championship versus the supporter shield argument. I think it speaks more to consistency and longevity if you win the supporter shield. You can't win a double unless you win the supporter shield. So I think I'd go probably supporter shield, USL championship, Open Cup, USL Malort Cup.
I guess I would disagree with that a little bit. You can win the double. You can win the USL Cup and
you can't win the league double. The league double to me is the supporter shield and then the championship, which I think San Antonio did the year that they won a couple years ago. And that's the only team that's even come close to doing it, mainly because the East typically wins the supporter shield and then falters in the playoffs. But yeah, I think that the unbalanced schedule is a little wonky. I think the West, if you can win the supporter shield out of the West, it's more of a feat than out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
And so if United were to win it, I think it would mean more than Loose City winning it every year because the East is always top heavy.
Yep. So yeah, here's a look at the USL Championship season key dates. I mean, you look at this. The regular season starts on March 7th. We're less than 3 months away from that. You got Open Cup first round, Open Cup second round, round of 32, group stage of the Prinks Tires. By the way, new sponsor, no longer the Jägermeister Cup.
It's going to be the Malort Cup for me for the rest of the year. Thank you, Justin.
So yeah, championship final November 20th through 22nd. So we already have the basic outline for the entire season here. I mean, you potentially could have a very, very busy first 3 months of the season if you do well in Open Cup. So yeah, I mean, it's we talk about silly season, how long the off season is, and when does the season get here. We're less than 3 months.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing about this league, man. Is it is, I don't have time to breathe. That's why it was nice that we didn't get any news the last couple of weeks, because we could take a little break there, but because once news starts dropping for United, we're going to be busy. I mean, once new signings and stuff start coming in, other than the week between Christmas and New Year's, which we can still record if enough news comes, but other than that week, like we're going to be nonstop. Signings are going to be coming in. We've got the schedule now, so it's going to be just bam, 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 bam until, it means if we're less than 3 months away from the regular season started, that means we're probably 2 months away from preseason starting. And so it's right around the corner, as it always is. And it's going to be an interesting offseason for sure, especially with the lack of news that we've had so far.
Hey, Harry, how you doing? Glad to see you in the chat. Hope you and the family are doing well. We were just talking about how, Jacob was just saying how between San Antonio and Colorado, we've got 6 free wins this year. So
I was saying that, Harry. I was. Thank you to the USL schedulers for just giving us 2 extra ones there.
Yeah, I mean,
awfully kind of them.
18 points right there, right? That's the difference between first and 8th. So
I mean, we were guaranteed 12 points, right, with 4 wins there, but they're just like, hey, here's 6 more points just for you guys, and so shout out Nicholas Murray and them for helping us out there.
Yeah, so so much going on, so much, and obviously Premier League and other sports are going on right now too, and the season's going to be here before we know it. I'm glad that we did have news this week, so we could sit down and record. Maybe take off next week, depending on news dependent.
Yeah.
Obviously we want everyone to spend time with their families over the holidays. My fiance will be here. My kids will be here. We're going to be spending, doing lots of things together. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to time, just away from everything.
River of Lights, you hear nay?
I've never been.
Oh, you got to go, dude.
I've thought about it. I've never been, and
take the fam and it'll be good. I like to go earlier when they first open. It seems to be less busy, but take the kids, strap in. It's going to be good.
Yep.
I fully agree, Harry. It's 6, 12, or no, sorry, 6, 12, 18 plus the ones we're getting from the 18 we're getting from you guys. Yeah, I mean we're already halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. Last bit of news came out a couple weeks ago. Did you watch the World Cup draw?
I did. Well, no, I take that back. I didn't, but I did look at it after the fact.
All right. So Team USA gets Group D with Paraguay, Australia, and either, I don't even know, someone coming out of FIFA. Turkey, Slovakia, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where's the list? Oh, here you go. Kosovo, Romania, Slovakia, and Turkey. So, what do you think about that group there?
I think we should get out of it pretty easily. I hope. I did love how oh shit! I'm getting my former Tottenham managers mixed up. Who the hell's the coach? Pochettino. Sorry. I do like how everybody was calling for his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden he turns it around. Like everybody that could think for themselves kind of figured he would. And so yeah, I think I'm getting excited. I tell you what I'm not excited for, those fucking ticket prices.
Good Lord, those are insane. So much for FIFA making it affordable.
Me and my buddy Will for 3 years now have been like, oh, we gotta go. And we had the okay, we were ready, tickets went on sale. We looked at them and said, nah, we'll watch from home. And so
those tickets are stupid. And we talked about going, it's like, well, we could match in Atlanta. We've got places to stay, right? That would save us on cost and things like that. No, there's no way. I would love, I know it'd be a once in a lifetime thing, but yeah, it's the ticket prices are outrageous. FIFA has done nothing, and then it's just, honestly, just move it out of the country at this point. Move it, take it somewhere else. I don't care. I'll be perfectly happy watching at a normal time and not at 2 a.m.
I'm not gonna lie, hot take. The Qatar one, the Winter World Cup, the weird hours, that was I enjoyed the heck out of that. And so but I'm still excited for it to be here. I want it to be in the United States. I want, hopefully, for people to realize how fun and awesome soccer can be. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, nobody's gonna be able to afford to go to these fucking things. And so you're just gonna have to watch on TV and be like, hey, I know that arena, that's cool, and be done. But yeah,
my fiance just suggested bachelor party for that.
If you were getting married in the next freaking 3 years, I would say yes. But
yeah,
you're not getting married till I'm going to be a senior citizen. And so
So, all right. So here are the ticket prices. Category 3 ticket, whatever that means, for U.S. versus Paraguay on June 12th, $1,100.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
We could fly overseas for that amount of money.
That's what Justin just said. Cheaper to fly to Morocco, Portugal, or Spain and go to a bunch of games and come back than go to one in the U.S.
Yeah, I'd rather fly to England, spend a week and a half over there, a week over there, go see Everton. I'll fly to England for a weekend for $1,000, go see Everton play and come back. That'd be better than this. This is ridiculous. But
a little sad.
So, but I think that's everything. Did we miss anything? How are the Spurs doing?
They're the Spurs, man, and you already know.
Yeah.
We just got our ass kicked by Nottingham Forest, but before that, we looked good for 2 games. So, really, just kind of up and down. That's. I honestly. My main focus right now is making sure I don't miss anything that United announces, and then my fantasy football team in one of my big bunny leagues is in the semifinal, and so that's my focus, and then the holidays, of course. So,
how about them Cowboys?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Patrick Mahomes torn ACL.
Yeah, I'm done for the year.
Micah Parsons done for the year.
Yeah,
Falcons are absolute dog shit.
Fuck the Falcons.
Dude, they're awful.
That game Thursday pissed me the hell off.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I was so mad. I threw something at the TV. I was so mad. But no, that's all I got, man.
Mini stadium update. I don't know if you saw this on Facebook. Someone was saying how there's something on Facebook. Someone's complaining about some team getting their stadium far before us and their brand new team and this, that, and the other. And Ron chimed in. And
a Ron leak?
Yeah, not necessarily a leak, but he said, look, there's 11 households that are involved in a lawsuit with the city. And that's what we're waiting on. Like, he was very clear. There are 11 households that are holding this up.
Ron, can we get addresses, please?
Right? We'll go door to door, right? So, yeah, as soon as the city finishes their thing, finishes that lawsuit, we'll be ready to move forward. But, and I know there's some concern in that thread about the longevity of the club, and if they're never gonna, if they're gonna be like, hey, we're done with this, we're not gonna deal with it anymore. That was a suggestion I saw too, Justin. They relocate to the new fairgrounds. But I think the club is locked in. I believe they've already signed the agreements with the city to take over the location up there. So, but it's coming. It's still coming. So, but I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
Cool. Well, everybody over the chat, Andrew, Justin, Josh, Mark, Eric, Andy was over there. Andy Gom was over there somewhere. Desert, what was his? He said his name in one of the chats. And now I'm sorry, Desert. My memory is failing me because it was 3 weeks ago. I think that was about it.
Yeah, I didn't see Jane in there.
Yeah, there was no Jane, no Mama Christina. Michael Bencomo was over there as well.
That's right.
Thank all you guys. Thank everybody that watched. Thank everybody that's listening to this at a later date. If you are listening at a later date, please rate and review us in the podcast player that you so choose. We will be back possibly next week, possibly not. Keep an eye on our socials. I will try to do a post saying we won't record if we're not going to record. Just know that if we don't record, we're fine. We're good. We're just flowing. Going with the holiday season. And so, other than that, we'll be back. I hope to have, we hope to have some guests coming up at some point right after the holidays. I want to try to get Itamar and Coach back on before the season if we can. So we're going to try to do some of that. We're just kind of taking it easy right now, getting through the holidays. And then we'll definitely ramp back up with every week's content in January. and hopefully some guests for you. So thank you guys so much for coming back on, tuning back in after this little hiatus.
In case we're not here next week, we should say, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Safe travels and be well to everyone out there. And
for sure. Justin asked if we were going to get an international this year. I assume so. The only thing that could throw a wrench in that is the World Cup, because usually our friendlies are right in the middle of July or so. And so, but yeah. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back again next week, or possibly next week, if not the week after. If not the week after, we shall see. It's the silly season for us, so who knows? But keep an eye on our socials. Make sure if you don't want to miss anything, subscribe and hit the little bell on YouTube for United Front, because that will give you a notification when we do go live. But thank you guys so much. We'll be back at some point. We love y'all. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that jazz. And until the next time, somos nidos. Love you all.